Hi there, Summoners! GuardianE here with another live reaction and first impression video for Fire Emblem Heroes. And tonight we are getting the reveal of the next legendary hero to drop into the game in just a couple of days. Got the trailer pulled up here, haven't taken a look. We're going to watch it together raw for the first time, and then of course take a closer look at the banner and the unit as a whole, just to evaluate whether or not I think this is a banner worth pulling for. So let's get started. Wait for that text to leave. Okay, alright, who have we got? New legendary hero joins the battle. Oh. Is it? It's Alear? What? Awoken Divinity. I mean, okay. Alright, infantry green dragon. Dragon's Fist. Alright, Dragon Blast. Which looks like it's gonna be... I don't know if that's unique special or not. Alright. Okay, I mean, look, certainly appropriate, right? And I'm certainly happy to see more engage, because we definitely need more engage in the game. It's just kind of surprising to me, I guess, because... Oh, that's really cool. That strike, that strike with her palm, that was pretty awesome. Alright, Ashura, we got Naut, Faye as well, got Ninian on deck, Emblem, Lucia, Robin, got Tana, Seren, Rhea, Anankos, alright. Okay. Alright, so a very, you know, so Alear is a very fitting pick, of course. I mean, I think naturally I certainly expected us to get a legendary hero version of Alear at some point. So that being the case, I mean, that also does seem like it paves the way for more engage banners soon. There's not always that linkage between the legendary hero, but sometimes that plays out. So, you know, we could expect to see some more engage banners as a whole. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about Alear. So Alear was dropped, Awoken Divinity, legendary version of female Alear, and she is a green dragon infantry. So let's take a closer look at her here. I mean, something that has always been singularly striking about Engage's art design is the vibrant colors, and Alear is showing that off in spades here with the bicolor hair, as well as the heterochromia popping off of the screen. Looks really great. I like that she has her hands up in sort of a battle pose, and her hands are actually glowing as part of the Dragon's Fist. Really cool. Has a scroll in tow, modified armor, the flowing cape. All really comes together really well, and even sort of the subtlety of the glowing chi and the embers swirling around her, really nice as it comes together. Yeah, no, I think it looks good. So Alear is going to be a green dragon infantry. She's going to come with Dragon's Fist, 11 might, has a killer slaying effect, unit attacks twice, even if a foe initiates combat, unit attacks twice, so it's got a brave effect on both player and enemy phase. At start of combat, if the unit's HP is at least 25%, grants attack speed, +5 to all stats to unit during combat, inflicts -X to all stats on foe during combat, where X equals the number of allies from distinct titles within 3 spaces of unit times 3, +4, max 10. Okay, alright, so at least 4, max 10 is what we're looking at as a debuff on the enemy to all of their stats. So that's quite decent, and reduces damage from AoE specials, specifically, and from foe's first attack during combat by 40%. First attack normally is the first strike, first and second strikes, yep, okay. And then adaptive damage. Okay, alright, so I believe Alear is going to be the first Brave Weapon Dragon unit in the game, if memory serves. I could be mistaken, but I can't recall any other ones that do. Which, you know, paired with the fact that she's got adaptive damage as a dragon weapon, she's going to be hitting the res stat otherwise. The killer slaying effect works very well with the brave effect, and then she's going to be having buffs to herself as well as debuffs on the enemy up to, stat debuffs, up to 10, which is sizable, and then damage reduction against AoE and the first attack. In both cases, quite powerful. That does mean that she's going to be tanky, be able to sustain an attack into her, and then in which she'll be able to retaliate with a double attack, right? Attacking twice. And next we got Dragon Blast as the special, which is either going to be her unique special or it's going to be dragons only. But it has a 3 cooldown, and so with the Killer Slaying effect, it's going to be effectively a 2 cooldown, right? Boost special damage by 50% of unit speed. Oh, so she's going to be a speedy unit, which means that she is going to be a quadder, probably, right? If unit is on a team with their support partner... Oh, really? Okay. When unit or unit's support partner special triggers, reduces damage by X% effects from foes' non-special skills. So it has damage reduction nullification. I see. If unit is within 3 spaces of their support partner, and unit or foe's special is ready or triggered before or during this combat. Jesus, that's a mouthful. Reduces damage from foe's next attack by 40%. Once per combat, excludes AoE specials. Alright, so there's a lot to unpack in this special here. So 50% of unit speed as a base damage, that's just a standalone property. So that's just the raw damage that this special does. Up front, that's already decent. And then there's this whole support partner effect, which it makes a lot of sense for Alear to have this. It kind of emulates the whole emblem mechanic in Engage. So I feel like that's kind of what they're going for. And in that sense, it's basically if she or her support partner have their special ready, or their special will proc, it neutralizes damage reduction effect. That's really good. That's really good. There's so many effects out there that have damage reduction now. Being able to neutralize that in a special is a valuable tool to have within a unit. And then furthermore, just taking it in the next step, if she's within 3 spaces of that support partner, she gets additional damage reduction. She and her partner would get damage reduction against the foe's next attack after the special. And what that means for her, at least in the dynamic of her tanking an attack, right? She's got a killer slaying effect, which means Dragon Blast is going to be on a 2-turn cooldown. If she tanks a hit, which is going to be reduced by 40% because she has damage reduction, that means that Dragon Blast is going to be at a 1-turn cooldown. She's going to retaliate and attack twice because she has a brave effect. She's going to actually proc Dragon Blast in the process, and then if the enemy is still alive at that point and has the capacity to double, their next attack is going to be reduced by 40%. And so that's kind of like her enemy phase, at least so far. We haven't seen the rest of her skills, but that is sort of her enemy phase route, right? Attack speed finish 4 is obviously going to be really good for her. If she's a quadder, if she's a quadding brave unit, she's going to want all the attack and all the speed that she can take, and attack speed finish 4 is a perfect way to do that. She's also going to enjoy some true damage, which again works very, very well with a brave effect. And every hit that she does is going to get that additional true damage, regardless of what the enemy's defense or res stat is. And then, furthermore, she's going to get sustain and healing afterwards, 7 HP, that ain't bad, and that's going to help her sustain in general, not only to maintain the health threshold for Dragon's Fist, but also just keep her topped off and alive as she's tanking these hits, even with the damage reduction, right? So that's all the skills so far, and then Null C Disrupt 4, attack speed -4 on the foe, neutralize effects that prevent units' counterattacks, and reduces damage from foes' first attack by 30% during combat. This is going to stack with her Dragon's Fist, so that means the first hit is going to do even less damage unless she's being hit by a move that nullifies damage reduction. Attack speed pledge for the C slot. So this is a new class of skill. At start of turn, if unit is within 2 spaces of an ally, grants attack speed +6 and special cooldown charge +1 to unit per attack during combat. Only highest value applied, does not stack to unit for 1 turn. If unit is within 2 spaces of an ally, grants attack speed +3 to unit during combat. It's a damn good skill. Obviously, that's really, really good for Alear. Attack and speed are the stats that she cares about. Being within 2 spaces of an ally, that is going to synergize with a lot of elements of her kit that forces her to stay within a certain proximity of her allies. There's an activated component to it at the start of the turn, so she gets a buff to attack and speed, and as well as a blade effect, which means that even on offense, her Dragon Blast is at a 2-turn cooldown. Whenever she initiates on an enemy, that blade effect is going to ensure that on the first initiation, she's going to proc Dragon Blast. And then if the enemy survives and retaliates, she's going to have the damage reduction built in from the Dragon Blast, as well as from the Null C Disrupt, as well as from her Dragon's Fist, all stacking to really reduce that damage. You're going to see a lot of dings in that scenario. And then furthermore, there's even just an in-combat buff, right? She even gets just attack speed +3 as an in-combat buff, as long as she's within 2 spaces of an ally. So this is a really great skill. There were already sort of a limited number of C-slot skills that self-buffed. They were out there, but definitely in the minority. this is one that takes it to another level. I mean, it's definitely self-buffing, but also just like in both capacities of like an activated buff as well as an in-combat buff, as well as not just stats, but also a really potent effect that lends itself to an offensively based unit like Alear, as well as, you know, catering to the whole Brave effect that she's got going on. So yeah, it's a cohesive kit for sure. I mean, the one she can play her phase, she can enemy phase. She's built for it. She's got that Brave effect to really do that, dish out that damage. That special is gonna hit super hard. She's gonna heal with every hit. That sustain, top her off, debuff on the enemy, buffing her attack ability. Stacks and stacks of damage reduction, and the ability to nullify the enemy's damage reduction is all going to make sure that she does a boatload of damage. All that stuff together, really strong. The only thing that she's missing, arguably, is she doesn't have distant counter. But for some reason, Intelligent Systems thought that it was a good idea to give dragons a special seal that they can equip that gives them distant counters. So you can just equip that on Alear just fine, right? And be on your merry way, because that's gonna fit just nicely. She'll be able to tank from a distance, retaliate, do tons of damage, and have that adaptive damage on any ranged foes too. So really potent kit. Again, I believe the first unit in the game, the first dragon unit in the game, dragon weapon that's going to have a Brave effect. So this is going to be the unit selection on Legendary Alear's debut banner, and alongside her on green is going to be Legendary Robin and Legendary Ninian. Now that is a cancerous color. All three of those units are horrific to fight against. I mean, if you're not prepared to fight against them, they can be real problems. All three of them can be real problems. So honestly, it's a great color. I mean, I think if you don't have them, all three of those units are valuable to have, which really makes it very tempting to pull on that color in particular. I think it's very strong. It's very strong. It's way up there. So on red, we've got Emblem, we've got Lucia, and we've got Siren. So immediately out of the gate, two of those units are in the regular summon pool, and they're relatively recent additions. They're very powerful additions. Lucia in particular is just such a unique unit, such a fun conceptual unit that I think it's very striking in the roster of Fire Emblem heroes. That being said, they're not limited, and so I do think that detracts overall from the value that you would get from red. Siren is powerful, but again, not like a complete showstopper, I would say. Embla is definitely a recent mythic hero that's coveted. I think she's very strong, but overall, the color definitely is a far cry from green showing on this one, I would say. If we take a look at blue, so blue is going to be Legendary Fae, it's going to be Anankos, and it's going to be Not, right? Yeah, I believe that's the case. Not a bad color. Not a bad color at all. Anankos, very strong. Faye has her revive sustainability gimmick. Not still very good. If you don't have her, the whole Pathfinder and everything else, still nice to have in your back pocket. Not, I would say, not as strong as green, but still a good showing. Still a good showing, and definitely still better than red. So on colorless, we've got Rhea, we've got Ashura, and we've got Rearmed Tana. So that is interesting. Rhea is very strong. Rearmed Tana also very strong, and having that utility as a rearmed hero as well. Ashura is still powerful in her own right, not necessarily a showstopper these days or anything, but still carrying her weight, I would say, on the color. I think colorless is actually quite strong on this banner, and maybe falling victim to recency bias here, but I would actually say that it's probably second best on the banner. So green, I think, stands alone. I think green is unequivocally the best color on this banner to pull for. I think colorless below that. I would put blue immediately under that, and then red just kind of like trailing behind there. In terms of just the overall value that each color brings, obviously the MO for these at the 8% on a legendary banners, as long as you're missing and would be completely equally happy with at least two of the units on a particular color, it is worth summoning on that color. So once again, Legendary Hero Alear, Awoken Divinity, banner is going to be starting on August 31st, and it is going to be extending for basically 2 weeks until the middle of September. And yeah, so I think strong showing. I think in terms of her kit and her skills and what she has to offer, it's going to be really powerful and unique to play around with. She's going to be great and very versatile as a character as well. And she comes with some very strong bedfellows in terms of who else is carrying green. Now, that being said, green being super tempting, I don't know if I'm going to be summoning hard on this one. I might just do the first full circle. I might just stick to greens, completely honest, in that first circle. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, I don't know if I'm going to go beyond that. And it's not necessarily for a lack of value on the banner, because I do think it has value. I know Legendary Camilla is happening at some point. I just need to be prepared for it. And there's nobody in here that I absolutely need to have on day one. So that's kind of my logic. I don't know. I'm still torn. We'll see what happens. I'll probably cave. Who knows? But let me know in the comments below if you are excited for Legendary Alear, if you predicted a Legendary Alear, if you're pulling for her on this banner. Wish you the best of luck. Hope you get as many copies as you need very, very, very quickly. And your poverty pulls, your first circle gives you a full 5 Legendary Heroes and everything that you need. Hopefully you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to leave us a like, comment, subscribe to the channel for more Fire Emblem Heroes content. We thank you all so much for watching, for taking time out of your day to spend with us. We really do appreciate it. And until next time, let's protect those skies.